Welcome everybody to this week's KubeVirt community meeting. It is the, how do you read that? 6th of May, 2026. That is crazy. Yeah, I hope wherever and whenever you are, you're having a meal of the day. I've already put the link into chat, but if you join late, just ask if you don't already know how to get the agenda link, and I can put it back. Is there anyone who is new this week, or maybe you're not new, but maybe you haven't taken the opportunity to introduce yourself and would like to introduce yourself now? Okay. In which case, we'll move on to our usual preamble. So our scheduled check-in. Last Thursday, we had our vet freeze, which we'll talk about briefly in just a second. And so our next major milestone is going to be the KubeVirt code freeze in June 24th. So that is approximately 6 weeks' time. My maths is true. And we are still targeting a GA date for 1.9 on the 22nd of July. Hopefully that isn't news to anyone here. But if it is, you can always find our latest release at our SIG release. Our upcoming CFP, unchanged since last week. And we can get rid of this one. So the CFP for Kubernetes China has passed. I haven't checked this week, but to see whether the CFP is open for Open Source Summit. But KubeCon Cloud Network North America is open until the end of this month. That'll be at the beginning of November. And we've also got KVM Forum, which will be slightly clashing with that. They both include the 12th of November, and that'll be in Canada. Upcoming, we've got DevConf CZ. Actually, while I'm thinking of it, Felix, you've got an event that's happening before DevConf, right? Cloud something?
Cloudland, yeah.
Cloudland. Can you please send me the details of that, and I'll throw it on here.
Yeah, will do.
And if you, like Felix, are representing KubeVirt, talking about stuffs at any conference, let me know, and I'll add it here. And depending on when and where it is, we might be able to organize something, whether it's stickers or something bigger or whatever support we can. Let me close that. And our calendar. So a little while ago, Ryan sent out a notification saying that the SIG Scale meetings was cancelled for this week and next week. So I've removed them from the calendar, something I don't always do, but I had the presence of mind this week. Tomorrow, we have our Accelerated Infrastructure Enablement Working Group, alternating without a control loop. We've also got our weekly CR meeting, and next week is our VEP discussion and our DRA meeting. Anyone heavily involved in the VEP discussion, is that still going ahead? Or are we having a break?
I don't know, Lubo, you're in the call? Probably not. If I don't know, I mean, we could discuss implementations, but I mean, the VEPs are closed already. So
yeah, and it's been
we do have a
busy time.
few exceptions requested, so maybe host that next week just to clear that up.
yeah.
I think the exception was sent after the freeze, isn't it?
The requests were, yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, but I think it just, well, this is something that we need to sort out going forward. who and how are we setting this requests, and we need to formalize this. I mean, normally until now, it was either Lubo or me inviting people to kind of submit these enhancements. Sorry, exceptions. But I think we need a formal process of how this is going to be done. So I mean, for what it's worth, I would accept still these exceptions that were filed for this cycle, but we need to sort this out for the next one. But
Yeah,
the problem
agreed.
is
Sorry.
the problem is that the this web discussion is coming like on a day before the exception freeze would be applied. So is it still valuable?
Potentially, if there's still stuff going on by next Tuesday, it would, yeah, it's a line in the sand potentially where we can just, agree to disagree or close things out at that point. Because the exception is for a week. It lasts potentially a week, right?
Yeah. So that's our freeze was on the 30. Then it means yeah. Yeah, it's even more, but
It's
never
2
mind.
2 weeks. But who's counting? Right. Well, we won't resolve it here. You can presume that if it's still in the calendar, then the meeting is going ahead. And if it is cancelled, we'll send out a short note. I think someone has a question.
Hey, yeah, that's me. This is not regarding to the web discussion, but more for the DRA call just after the web discussion call next week. So in the last DRA call, Orel found an issue with the DRA call. So there were two different links, one in the invite and a different one in the document that we were tracking. Because of that, I think folks ended up going to two different rooms, and we have not had DRA call since 3-4 weeks. So my apologies on not finding that issue faster, but thanks to Orel, we found and fixed that. So now there's just one room in Source of Truth. So if anyone is interested in that discussion, it will resume starting next week in the right channel or the right Zoom meeting room.
So Ali, are you? So you're still going to manage this one, right?
Yes, I will.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, last few meetings I ended up going to a different Zoom link, and I didn't see anyone there. So that's the reason why. So my apologies to anyone who has been waiting in different rooms.
Yeah, no worries. I'll just because we are committing to having this and going forward with this, then we need to stick to a plan to make sure that everybody knows where is it and that this is actually going on. Yeah, so and still valuable. So that's my point. I mean, the same thing with the. I think with the confidential computing. So last time we had something, but before that, I'm not sure what we had. And also, I'm going to take a step back at some point in June. So I won't be able to push for all of these meetings. So it's kind of, you guys will need to.
Yeah. So I think over the time we have seen the topics go down. It's mostly updates now. So let's see for next 2-3 weeks. If people show up with more topics, then we can continue. Otherwise, we can fold the DRA call into either the community meeting or into into different SIGs.
That's good. Thanks, Ale. I'm going to follow up with you outside of this meeting about what that mix-up was and how we can prevent it in the future. So we're going to move ahead. Oh, hang on. Let's just quickly check. Anything else we need to look at on the calendar? Nope. Everything else is normal. Where do I need to go? Yes, it is late. Yeah, maybe another reason why we should fold it into another meeting. So our VEP deadline passed last week, and by my count, we had roughly 40 VEPs were accepted, which is huge. Like, it's absolutely amazing. So I wanted to extend a massive kind of thank you to everyone who was involved in the reviewing of them and just making sure that they were ready to be accepted and moving forward for the 1.9 development. That's massive. I think someone said that there was 70 something that were proposed, which is an absolute mountain of new features and graduation work. Another quick note is that we had our project. KubeVirt submitted a project for this year's Google Summer of Code, and we had it accepted. So I'd like to welcome, I don't believe they're here, but Changlin Hugh, who I believe is Stevie Hugh on Slack, on Kubernetes Slack. They're working on an API server project, and I'm going to see if we can have them come here and do a short little introduction into that project. So if you see them online asking questions or like that, please help them out. Please make them feel welcome, and yeah, please help them understand the project better if need be. Ale, you've got some use cases.
Yeah, I just wanted to share another use case for Web 200. This is the worker pool. I see Lee's here, so it would be the right forum to discuss. So one of the challenges that we are running into is upon Node OS upgrade. I think the next one, which is RHEL 10, has some breaking changes, and for that, a different Word launcher image will be required to be compiled, right? And it kind of falls into this problem of how do you handle a cluster where half the nodes have been upgraded and half are on the older OS. So I just wanted to bring it up here and see if folks have thoughts on that use case as well.
Yeah,
So-
it's a. Sorry, Vlad, you go first if you want.
No, yeah. Before you go, I think isn't it a scheduling problem? I mean, if the node advertises that it's on some version, and then you just want your Virt launchers to land on nodes with the whatever affinity. I mean, from my point of view, it's all can be managed even without this. Without this work, couldn't it be managed with just a pure, scheduling constraints?
No, actually not, because so once the pod is created, the pod will only find out where it is going after the scheduling is done, right? So it can go to the older OS or the newer OS. We don't know ahead of time. The VMI spec is the same, so there is no differentiation before scheduling. After scheduling, it is found that the pod can either go to the new one or the old one. And after scheduling, we need to change the pod image, but pod spec is mutable, so we can't change the image. So we need some work like this to, figure out and handle upgrades there.
Yeah, it's potentially a use case. Like for us with that jump, we're kind of pinning to the older user space. So while you might have computes on 9 and 10 at the OS level, like the actual user space that is going to end up running initially will just be 9 to avoid that, to avoid having to kind of handle anything on top. There could be a case in the future where that wouldn't work and you'd need to align things. And this would allow you to potentially segregate compute. So if you've got a pool of computes that or workers that are based on 10 that will always pick up the associated user space, and it's completely transparent, I guess, at that point. But yeah, the whole upgrade kind of flow and use of this feature, it's a bit awkward because at the moment as written, the feature would the actual cluster admin would need to kind of keep on top of versioning and specifically which images are being pulled into which pools at which point and everything, and it's without a bigger kind of orchestrator on top, it's a bit fragile. It's a lot of work, but it's potentially something. It would potentially allow a bigger orchestrator to come in and kind of do something like that, I guess. But if you want to comment on the PR, I can try and potentially work something in, or at least like leave it for a later kind of iteration. Maybe not for alpha, but yeah, we can talk about it there.
Yeah, sure. I think what I wanted to share is if that use case is something you want to fold it into this web, then maybe the implementation might have to morph to make it easier so that the higher level orchestrator is not needed potentially. So yeah, I will leave a comment with some options and we can take it from there.
Cool, thank you.
To be honest, I didn't understand how this solves the problem that you. Okay, never mind. Maybe we should think outside of this.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Sidhu, you've got a couple of pull requests here.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the rules OCI is not working with S3 intake, so I'm trying to migrate to rules IMZ, where, I mean, rules OCI we thought to add support, but it will be like having some dependencies which we can't enable. So, but rules IMZ we found like we can add the support of some PRs and also, yeah. So this is the issue I raised. Yeah, so yeah, I actually done the changes. I raise a draft PR. Some of the dependencies I need to I mean the PRs are raised, so it actually approved, but it got once it got merged, I need to bump those in the KubeVirt. So yeah, so that PR I ran the test and all are passing actually, so I don't see any issues on the PR. Can you go to the PR? Yeah. Yeah, so I want, I mean, actually people to review it and give their feedback. Actually, this is not the proper PR. I mean, I need to update the Bazel to 7.5 where the rules IMZ will work, and I just testing with my local images here. So yeah, that's the thing. So yeah, maybe please review the people here so and give me feedback. I mean, this will actually help us to build the KubeVirt natively on S3 index so that we can run our E2 test pipeline on the Pro S3 index workload, like how x86 is running by spinning up the provider and all. So currently we are blocked because native KubeVirt we are not able to build natively on S3 index because of the rules OCI problem. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to bring up.
Perfect. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm not sure if you've seen Jed's message in chat. So this probably hasn't had any reviews because it's still in draft, and so people aren't sure. So when it is ready, and you do want to bring people's attention to it, if you take it off draft, Or
Okay.
alternatively, in the future, if you want to keep it on draft to save it from, pushing on CI, you can request who I'm presuming would be otherwise added as reviewers over here in the suggested. Um,
Okay.
so
Sure. Yeah.
that's probably why it's been pretty quiet. So yeah, when it's ready, take it off draft, and yeah, hopefully some people it'll get added to their review log.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Next time I will do this. I will do that.
No worries. And I didn't quite follow. Did you need anything for this issue, or the PR is resolving this issue?
Yeah. The PR is resolving this issue. Yeah.
Perfect.
So I need to map it actually. I will do that. Yeah.
Yeah, nice one. Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Yeah. But like one question, like rules IMC, is people okay to move on from rules OCI? Just that I want to know to continue my work further. Yeah, anyway, if people reviews the PR also, that's fine. Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I
fine.
didn't quite follow.
No, I mean, I just want to know like if this migration is fine. I mean, people are okay from the community. Just want to know. Yeah, I will make it undraft one, so it will request the review. So,
Awesome.
like people who are interested, I will. Yeah. Okay, got it. That's all from my side. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Is Fan here? It doesn't look like it. Okay, this was from last week. I mentioned the possibility about their downstream vulnerability scanning and remediation for the KubeVirt main branch. Has anyone followed up with Fan who was here last week?
No, I think Lubo is also not here, and I think that they were supposed to chat about this.
Okay, okay. I'll reach out to one or both of them. Thank you. Daniel.
Yeah, so just a quick heads up. There was a discussion about the branch end of life policy. And this is merged already. So there was an immediate action where we would archive all the dead release branches. And I've been working on that. And I just wanted to point out how I do want to solve it. There is like two steps of that. First of all, would be to unmain, or like if you can take a look at the files change, basically you would see that there's a bunch of like the pre-submit files is being removed, so that the CI support for these is dropped. But also in the config YAML, which is below, the configuration for the branch protection is being changed, that those are being set to unmanaged. And in the follow-up step, we would run the archive release branch script, which would lock the branches from further changes, so that they would basically gotten frozen. This requires basically an API call. I just wanted to ask for feedback on that, whether that would be the way to go, or whether someone knows a better strategy about discontinuing the branches and freezing them.
Daniel, as written, I don't think the VEP suggested we were going to do any EOLing like this release, unless I'm forgetting something after sick leave. But yeah, it was going to be with 110 that we were going to start things, and we were going to have like a grace period. And this only goes up to 57, I guess. But yeah, where did you get that from, that we were going to do this now?
I just read something like about immediate action, so I just jumped on it. Basically, probably then this was like my misunderstanding of that. But anyhow, I think that's just like I want to bring this up for discussion of whether we are going to do it like this or not. So that's just my question. And since I'm early, I mean, we have lots of time. We can just leave this aside.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I'll look at the PR anyway, because it would be good to just understand how we're going to do this eventually. But yeah, just make sure just leave it as draft for now, and we'll go back over things.
Sure. Probably I was a bit fast.
What does it mean that the VEP was merged, right?
Yeah, the VEP was merged.
So what was the intention, original plan that it will, what target it had, or what?
I don't have it open in front of me, but the idea, because there's quite a big kind of impact potentially for downstream vendors with this change. We were going to give folks the rest of the 1.9 cycle and 1.10 cycle to provide feedback before making any actual changes to the branches at the end of 1.10, just to ensure that folks are ready for that EOLing event to happen and to then continue from there.
Okay, thanks.
Just getting the VIP. That was also my memory as well. Daniel's just too quick. Speaking of Daniel being too quick, I just pulled this out. This was from a mailing list Daniel started last week. I just saw there was a status update saying that these were the tracker issues that he'd created. Daniel, do you just want to give a 10-second TLDR?
Sure. So we've agreed in today's 6CI meeting that we don't want to create a tracker issue for each of these quarantined test cases. So I've created like collective tracker issues per SIG, so that every SIG has like an overview of which quarantined tests are there, and so that they can follow up on that. So there is no pressure on that. This is just like to bring awareness again to those quarantine tests that need at some point to be worked on.
Cool, thank you. We are at time. I did have a little plug here. So I think Lee set this out about a month ago, some plugins that he'd adapted for KubeVirt development. I've only had a chance to use one of them and it worked really well. It was the VEP review plugin. These seem to make a lot of sense. If I've talked to a couple people who said that they haven't had a chance to use them. To me, it makes sense if we all try and focus and iterate on the same ones, so that then they're all kind of generally better. I won't take any time, but if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, have a look at that. Have a look at them. Aurel's got something to say just before we finish up.
Yeah, just one quick thing. There was a suggestion in the KubeVirt dev mailing list about shortening the time stale PR gets closed. Can we move forward with this PR?
Actually, sorry for that. I dropped the ball. I would want to revise that. I think like the PR is LGTM approved, and I'm not. But since I didn't yet get feedback, I didn't remove the hold. So if the majority of people is okay-ish with that, then I would remove the hold. But yeah, I'll ask on the mailing list, I think.
Thanks a lot. We won't eat any more of SIG Compute's time. So thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for everyone, again, doing all that VEP review. And hope to see you next week. Stay cool.
See you. Bye-bye.